under this blue, let's have it right. Up the Chelsea, up the middles, let's go. Have it right, Middles FC. You got the minerals, yeah? Love it. Got the minerals, TT.
Hey, Johnny's got the fucking minerals, mate.
So have it right, up the Chelsea, up the Minerals FC. Big up to every single one of you in here tonight. We got the late night Minerals. Let's have it right. Listen, we've had the Ronaldo show. Let's fuck all that off. Let's have the Minerals FC show tonight. That's exactly what we're going to do. So first and foremost, guys, I want you to smash to pieces the like button. Hit the likes. There's almost 60 people. It's going to go up, guys. It's going to be a banger tonight. So land your Minerals and hit the like button. If you ain't subscribed, subscribe to the channel. It helps the channel grow. We're on the road to 5K. We're landing minerals. We're self-sufficient here. We don't need no other people on here. We just do our thing here. This is what we do. And we talk it as it is and how it is. So, guys, hit the subscribe button. We've got the Minerals FC membership down below in the description. And don't forget, guys, hit the notifications button if you ain't already. Hit it because it keeps you up to date when I put out content. I don't have a regular schedule, as you'll know. I just do it as and when it fits me. This is meant to be my enjoyment. This is about me letting off whatever I want to say and do what I want, when I want, however I want. And this is exactly what my platform's all about. It's been a very busy week for me with work and all that. So I haven't had really the time to do a stream over the last couple of days. And we've got a late one tonight because the Ronaldo thing was on, you know what I mean? Like, what's he got? Piers Morgan, that absolute Epstein Island merchant that he is. He's got, 250k viewers, live viewers. He absolutely milked it. Let's have it right. He milked it. Didn't really land the minerals for me. He didn't really ask him the right questions for me. Maybe we do a reaction to that. Might be quite a good one to do a reaction to that. Maybe I get my geezer Stretters on here and we do a reaction from a United perspective and from myself's perspective. Maybe that's a bit of content that we can do. But guys, get in the chat. Land your minerals in the chat. We're going to do a Minerals FC reacts tonight. That's exactly what we're going to do. And we're going to land it on someone who's, let's have it right, he's part of a little cult committee with the old Matisse and Eunice and all these guys, and you know they're all in a little circle together, and they kind of like have similar narratives, to be honest. So I'm gonna do a reaction on that, and big up to Fatta as well. Let me know when I get called out or I get mentioned. I've got to land it, bruv. I'm not going to hide from that nonsense. So I'm going to say it as it is. I'm going to react to this. And funny enough, what's it about, guys? It's about the Minerals Mount. It's about the Minerals man and his contract, and it's just about Minerals Mount. So we're going to feast tonight. It's going to be a fantastic one. And like I say, I've built the Minerals Mount Empire, cemented in completely, top to bottom, cemented in. Yeah. And these little rats, they find their way somehow through, I don't know where, nooks and crannies. Their little teeth just like chew away through the concrete. You know how it is. So we've got to exterminate that. We've got to get it out of the Minerals Mount Empire, and we don't want it anywhere near there. So we're going to land it tonight, guys. I haven't watched it. I've seen just the clip that I was sent, and I'm gonna watch it fresh for you guys. I don't even know if anyone's watched it. Let's have it right. So let's see what it's all about. But first and foremost, guys, smash the like button. Smash the like button. I'm going to quickly run through your comments very quickly, and then we're just going to run into it, guys. So let's have it right. Let's do it. Leo's in here. Big up. Expose the fraud. So-called fans. More plastic than Kim Kardashian. Let's have it right. Chelsea OG's in here. Time to hit the fake fans. Emman's in here. You're doing this mudding. Makes no sense. People entitled to their own opinion. Yeah, people entitled to their own opinions. Let's have it right. They are entitled to their own opinions, but we have to question opinions, mate. We have to question opinions if they're full of shit. I'm about to find out what the opinion is. So let's see what it's all about, Eman. You know what I mean? And I will back my boy, man, all day long, because about 80% of the fan base hate on him. So, yeah, that's where I come in. I'll back any player, but when it comes to Mason Mount, as we all know, he gets the most disrespect and hate. And I'm not having it. It's as simple as that. I'm not having it. Do you know what? When I'm in the ground, yeah, I don't hear one supporter ever, home and away, give it about Mount and cuss him off and hate on him. Isn't that interesting? It's very, very interesting, that. But you hear it outside of that. So what narratives are we going with here? What narratives are we going with here? Big up Stratters as well. Let's have it right, Johnny. Seek and destroy. You know it, my geezer. CFC Kings here. Let's have it right. Mud the Agenda Merchant. Thebes in here. This one's going to be a banger. I can't wait for Mrs. reaction tomorrow. Well, he can react all he wants, mate. I don't really give a toss. You know what it's like. Big up Fatters in here. Let's have it right. Oh, mate. Spencer's in here. What's the point of this? Every Chelsea YouTuber who doesn't rate Havertz or Mount gets mudded, so they can't have an agenda. Well, I haven't heard anything yet, so I don't know. Is he going to get mudded? Is he? We have to see what he's going to say, guys. You know, unless you've seen the footage, Spencer, unless you've seen the content and you know what's been said, then maybe you know mudding's coming along. But as far as I'm concerned, maybe we hear good things. But all I'm saying is I've just heard about me. That's what I've heard, a little section about me. So we're going to run through it and we're going to see what it's all about. Big up, Faye. Yes, I love this show. Let's have it right. Big up to you, Geezer. Blue Line Orbital. Stick it to them, Johnny. Catman, what's good, gang? Cameron's in here. Bill Boy. Francis Cursor. Nick Smith. My Geezer, Nick Smith. Big up to you, Geezer. Love it. Love it. CFC Kel. Bobby Fairview, James Copper. Come on, James. Big up to you, Geezer. Big up to you. Everyone's in here. All you guys that support the channel are in here. I love it. Gabriel's in here. British Patriot. CFC Blues. We've got Gems in here as well. Oh, mate. Let's have it right. This is going to be a great show, guys. You're going to love it, guys. I'm telling you. You are going to love it. Listen, and the exciting thing is, this is raw. Yeah, I have no idea. I've no idea. All I've done is prep one thing for you, just in case I need it. Just in case. So let's see if I'm going to need to use that lovely ace in the pack of cards of the Minerals FC. Let's see if I'm going to use that. Big up Top Bins, my geezer. Big up Johnny at last, a proper stream, not a keep or sell agenda-based stream by the usual wrong ends up the choke. Listen, all this buy and sell nonsense is ridiculous, bro. You know, and let's have it right. We're going to do a stream tomorrow as well because I want to talk about all the brown envelopes. The amount of waffle that is going on around is just ridiculous. You know, Depay today. I'm not even going to entertain Depay. We don't want mercenaries like that. We've already got them at our club. We don't need any more. Let's have it right. So Anyway, we'll move on from that. But like I say, I'm going to bring up loads and loads of content, guys. Loads and loads of content. Let's keep going, guys. Johnny's is in here. Fata's in here, obviously. El Padrino, my geezer. He's come out. He's come out. Probably watching the Ronaldo interview. Yeah. PR7. He's landing the minerals, bruv. But I'll tell you what, I do like this. So I'm going to quickly land this one just as El Padrino and Stretters is in here. But let's land this one because this one's quality. This is, for me, this is the generational minerals of the entire interview. This is what I take from it. And this is facts, guys. So Ronaldo says it as it is. So let's play this quickly and then we're going to roll into the reaction.
A good thing that I have, it's I don't like to read because I know 90% of the times they lie. They are garbage. The press, they are garbage. Not all of them, but most of them. They don't say the truth. And they lie. They constant lie. And
That's a bit right. They constantly lie. They're there for the clickbait. They're there to mud Chelsea. We know that, especially with Chelsea. The campaign against Chelsea is live and kicking 24/7 lockdown. Yeah, 24/7 lockdown. All right. So big up John CFC is in here as well. Rafa's in here. Everyone's in here, guys. So big up to you. There's almost 120 people in here. Before we get into it, like the video. I hope I got 120 likes there for this video. Let's go, and we're going to get straight into it, guys. So let's land the minerals. Let's react to this. I guarantee there's going to be a lot of mud in. It's inevitable. It's inevitable. Come on. All right, let's go. Let's go, guys. All right. So, do we want me a little bit bigger, or should we go for me a little bit? Where is it? A little bit smaller, maybe. Should we go like that, or should we go with me a little bit bigger? You let me know in the comments quickly. Like while you do that, and let me know what you prefer. Let me know what you prefer. So we don't know whether we want to see this geezer a bit more larger, or we want to see me larger. What do we want? What do we want? Let me know in the comments. If you want it like this, we can do it like this. Give me like 5 or 6 people. Let's have it right. I can't even do it 50-50. Don't let me. It's either like this or like this. You let me know. Do we want Mizzy being bigger or do we want me being bigger? Should we be the humble ones and let Mizzy be a bit bigger? Should we do that? Let's do it like this. Let's do it like this. Maybe we switch it up when I want to say something. Yeah. All right. Let's go. Let's just land it, bruv. Let's land it. All right. Let's go.
Actually, have a good discussion, a good session on Mason Mount. We are not going to talk about anything else for the next half an hour or so. We're specifically going to hone in on everything about Mason Mount and absolutely dissect this situation. Absolutely dissect this situation. We're not going to slander. We're not going to banter. We are going to try and keep things very balanced. We're going to look at the pros, the cons, and really try and get to some sort of a middle ground in regards to Mason Mount. I think far too many times in social media, whether it's in Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, what do you even want to call it, there's one group that hypes up Mason Mount like he's some sort of a phenomenal player, which in my opinion, once upon a time, I probably believed it in the sense that I hoped that he would be. But if I was to assess right now, I don't.
Hold on a minute. Once upon a time, he believed Mason Mount was a phenomenal, could be or is a phenomenal player. And now what's he going to say?
I think he's that phenomenal player. But at the same time, then you have the other spectrum.
Well, what's changed, guys, since this season, really? It's only this season, isn't it? He's been phenomenal since he's come to Chelsea, even in his youth. So it's like, are you telling me just from this stint this season, all of a sudden, I don't see him as that phenomenal player? Is that what we're pushing here? That's very, very, very harsh, mate. Very harsh. I mean, there's such a small sample size right now of where we are this season without all the context of everything that's going on around our football club. Well, let's roll it, guys. Let's roll it.
That kind of thinks Mason Mount is some sort of an utter rubbish player, which is completely incorrect. He's not. He's not an utter rubbish player. There's good value in Mason Mount. So I think it's somewhere in between. And we're going to talk about all of this. In my honest opinion, and I'm going to touch on this later on as well, as I said, we're going to look at the pros and the cons. I've been always thinking, who's a player that I can compare Mason Mount with? A lot of people, that hype Mason Mount will say, oh, he's like the KDB kind of mold, isn't he? He's a creator. And I think that's absolutely ridiculous.
Well, he is a creator. In fact, he's been our top chance creator for the last, 2 seasons at Chelsea. I think he's number one in every stat in that department. He's got the most GA out of any other player. In fact, funny enough, he created more chances than Kevin De Bruyne last season, if I'm correct. I'm pretty sure that's a correct stat. And when you talk about comparing him to a player and people bring up Kevin De Bruyne, I think where people don't understand, they haven't done their research on Mount or listen to people that talk about Mason Mount, he has been compared to Johan Cruyff from his Vitesse days. He's been compared to Paul Scholes by Roy Keane. He's been compared to Lampard by Paul Scholes. So it's not very far-fetched, to be honest, to put him in that Kevin De Bruyne bracket. But for me, Lampard is the benchmark. So if you're getting compared to Lampard, then, mate, that's all gravy for me. Let's see.
And then some people will say totally the other opposite, that he's an absolute nobody. And then that's not the case either. I sincerely think, and I want you guys to actually think about this, and this is no disrespect one bit. I've actually come to a conclusion. Mason Mount is sort of like a James Milner.
What?
Like, James Milner, he's someone, like, he's had an illustrious Premier League career.
Whoa. Did this geezer just compare Mason Mount to James Milner? Is that what I just heard, people? Fucking hell, bruv. We haven't even started, bruv. What are we on? What minute are we on? 2 minutes, 48 seconds. And straight away, he's comparing Mason Mount to fucking Milner. Do you know what the Mason Mount haters call Minnels Mount? They call him Mason Milner, bruv. And you're comparing him to Milner. You're having a fucking laugh. You must be trolling, geezer. This is a joke. I want to hear what he's got to say. Fuck me.
You would agree. He's had so many different clubs. He's played for over hundreds and hundreds of Premier League games in different clubs as well. He's not really an elite goal scorer, but someone who can score goals. I'm talking about James Milner from the olden days as well, not just now.
And what did he do in the olden days? He was playing for fucking Leeds, geezer. He's playing for Leeds, Villa, and then he went to Man City, and then from City he went to Liverpool. At a young age, what was Milner doing? He wasn't doing anything. Does this guy realise Mason Mount's only like 23 years old? I can't believe what I'm hearing.
From the beginning till now. He's someone, I feel like, who's not been noted for an elite goal scorer, who's not really been noted for an elite assist maker, but he's industrious. He's fit, he works hard, he's got a great attitude, can chip in with goals, can chip in with assists. I sincerely think probably a James Milner mold of a player. Like,
right. Listen, the characteristics you've named are just a small segment of what Mason Mount offers to our team. But as you're bringing that up now, right, this guy says that he digs in here and there and contributes. He just digs in here and there. He digs in here and there to contribute, like a James Milner, yeah? How is that just digging in here and there? Someone explain to me how that's just digging in. We got 29 GA last season. Is that just contributing? Just a little. I'm just helping helping my team out a little bit, guys. Just a little bit. Yeah. How about this? 173 games. He's got 31 goals, same as the GOAT, Frank Lampard. How's that for just digging in a little, just helping out my team a little bit? Is this guy off and what is he on? What is he on, this geezer? Yes, he's industrious. Yes, he works very hard for the team, but that's not just what he is, bruv. That's just a small sample size of what Minerals Mount is. This is a joke, man. This is a joke. This has got to be a joke. Listen, this has got to be clickbait. This has to be clickbait, guys. Let's see. Let's run it on a little bit. Now, fucking hell. Look at this. We're only 3 minutes 42. I'm going to land the minerals very early on, guys. Very early on, I'm landing the minerals, guys. It's going to get land. I knew I was going to use it. I knew it. All right, let's go.
That is probably someone that comes to my mind if I think about comparing Mason Mount. It's probably a James Milner kind of a mold, but that's just my opinion. We'll see what you guys have to say.
Your opinion stinks. Absolutely stinks. All right. So this is what he's just said, right? Everyone's heard what he's just said, that he's compared Mason Mount to James Milner. Yeah. This is what the haters call him, Mason Milner. They take the piss. All right. And it winds me up. Yeah. All right. So let's land this now. All right. Now, this fella had the honor, the absolute honor. Let's put it on. Let me put me here there. This geezer had the absolute honor, all right, to have the Minerals Mount Senior on this geezer's channel. Yeah. All right. And I've watched it. All right. And I'm going to land it now. Here it is. Everyone can see it. The Minerals Mount Senior. The Senior Minerals, yeah, was on this geezer's channel a year ago. 1 year ago. I 119% guarantee that this Mizzy guy wouldn't fucking spiel a word comparing Milner to the old man's son. No chance. No fucking chance. So why is it all right for this guy to compare him to Milner? How? Explain that to me. Explain that to me. There is no chance. I'll put my mortgage on it. This geezer ain't bringing up James Milner in front of Minerals Mount's dad. No chance. No chance. It's shocking that he said that. And we're only not even 4 minutes in. We're not even 4 minutes in. All right, so let's land it. Let's continue, guys. Let's continue. Let's see what he's got to say. And while you do that, I'm just going to quickly hold on. As we're on here, let me just quickly get the stats. Let me get the stats because I know Mason Mount's stats. All right, I know Mason Mount's stats. Mason Mount's stats. I can read you them right now. He's got 126 GA from when from his professional football career to the age or up to the age now 23. Yeah, all right. And Mason, what's his name? James Milner. Let's see what he's got here. Milner's got 221 GA since he started his career. He's now 36. So let's work that out. Let me work it out. That is. So he's got 95 more GA than Mount, aged up to 36 years old. So that's 13 years older. Yeah? Mason Mount's got 126 GA at the age of 23. That is over half of what Milner's got in his entire career in GA, and Mount's got plenty of years on his side. I don't understand it, bruv. It's an insult. That, to me, calling him Milner is an absolute insult. Absolute insult. All right, let's move it on. Let's move it on.
We're going to talk about all of this stuff. As I said, we're going to dissect the whole situation about Mason Mount, look at the pros, cons, and of course, look at the latest news. An article has dropped from The Athletic. Simon Johnson has come up with an article. We'll go through that a little bit and try and get exactly how you guys feel about it as well, which will be interesting to hear. Nearly 100 of you guys are live right now, only 16 likes. Please smash the like button, get those likes up to 100, just like yesterday, just like every other day. We would love to get 100 likes during the live stream, and then anything after that is an absolute bonus. So, and as I keep saying, likes are directly correlated to the growth of the channel. If you enjoyed the channel, you enjoyed the discussion, and enjoy the interaction that we have, please smash the like button. It just helps out. Okay, now in regards to the news, we've got the athletic article over here, as you can see.
Yeah, we
Chelsea
know
and Mason Mount make
I've been suffering from a receding hairline. Recently, I have found some hope.
All right, let's go.
breakthrough in talks over new contract. I'm not going to go through the entire.
Actually, funny enough, today, what was the news today? Liverpool want Mason Mount. Liverpool want Mason Mount. Liverpool are by far in the Premier League have been ahead of Chelsea for what, the last 5 years? I'd say 4 years. They're probably going to get top 4. They're a well-oiled machine, play fantastic football. Not this season, but they have been. They went on an unbelievable run last year, and they want Mason Mount. Klopp clearly wants Mason Mount. So let's see. It's funny because Milner's at Liverpool, but mate, they are nothing alike. Nothing alike, son. Literally.
Entire
God.
article. I'm just going to quickly go through
35 minutes. This is
some extracts that people like PYS and Simon Phillips has put out. I won't bring it up to the screen. I think you guys have all seen talks with Mason Mount, and there's now real optimism a deal can be struck in January. So obviously there was some rumors in recent times of what's going on with Mason Mount's contract. You know, is it really happening? Chelsea's apparently looking at contingency plan with scouting other players out there if just in case Mason Mount doesn't agree on the contract extension. But it looks like there's some optimism and it's going to happen. The next set of negotiations is going to be in January. We know very well Mason Mount's looking for a bumper contract. He's a first-team player, a regular first-team player. Whether it's Frank Lampard, whether it's Thomas Tuchel, and now Graham Potter, every single man.
Let's not forget Southgate. He's got more England caps than any other player in our squad. He plays almost every England game. And it's not like he's looking for a bumper deal. He's looking for a fucking deal that he deserves, right? He's on like 75 grand a week. It's shocking. So all the brown envelopes talking about Mason Mount's contract. Listen, if you've noticed, they're actually recycling the same old news. Nothing's happened. Clearly nothing's happened. This is the brown envelopes. This is Chelsea working with the brown envelopes, clearly, to try and get Mason Mount to commit to a deal that maybe he doesn't want to sign because it's not the right deal, or he maybe doesn't feel he's valued enough compared to Sterling coming at 300 grand, having Lukaku on 440 grand, having Timo Werner on 270, 90 grand. Well, Mason Mount is well within his rights to have that. He's been our best player for 3 years. So let's go anyway.
Manager has used him regularly and consistently. So he wants to obviously cash in on that, and that's absolutely fine. Further, the article goes on to say, as PYS has quoted it out, the Athletic...
Listen, before, it's not PYS, it's Pies and Mash, fella. He's a Pies and Mash. And he's got a pure agenda on Potter as well, and Minnels Mount and Kai Havertz. But anyway, we move.
Sources say one of the offers to Mason Mount was a 7-year-long contract, but he rejected that. 7-year-long contract was rejected. First of all, what is Todd Bowley doing with these long-term contracts? I understand you want to protect.
He's rejected a 7-year contract, but he doesn't mention why. Because if I know Minnals Mount, he wants to be at Chelsea for the rest of his career. He loves his club. He's through and through Chelsea. Bleeds blue, yeah? Let's have it right. But clearly the money ain't right. You can give me a 7-year contract on 100 grand a week. Am I going to accept that? No. So clearly the money isn't right. It's not respecting and valuing him as he should be. And at the end of the day, Minnals Mount will sign that 7-year contract. He'll probably sign a 10-year contract. The length of the contract is a protection to the club, but it also proves a commitment from the player to the club. It goes hand in hand. But if something goes wrong or that player wants to make a move and he's still got 3 years on his contract, it means Chelsea are in a very strong position to go out and get a large transfer fee for that player if they choose to sell them. It's like what West Ham are doing with Declan Rice. And now his contract's going down. He's not re-signing. And now his transfer fee's going down each year or each window that's open. It will go down. It means any club interested for him knows if they wait a little bit longer, they're going to get him at a cheaper price. Whereas if on a 7-year contract, it just gives more power to the club as well as the player, because the player wants to be there. You know, players want. It's very unusual to sign 7-year contracts, but let's have it right. Reece James has signed a 6-year contract plus 1 year, so it makes sense to offer Mason Mount that same length contract.
Protect the value of the player. I completely get it. Like if there's other clubs that down the track potentially want to buy the players, we're going to charge them, you know, an astronomical fee. I understand that. But at the same time, don't you think long-term contracts, like it just makes it a bit too relaxing for a player? Like, I don't know. I know some of you guys might say Reece James isn't like that. They should be professional at the end of the day. But I just get the feeling when you hand out a 7-year contract, and I'm pretty certain Mason Mount's looking to, you know, double, maybe even get as close to what Reece James is earning, which is about 250k a week.
Actually, Reece is on just over 300 grand, but people don't know that. But I know that. So yeah, he should get close enough to Reece or a little bit under. No, mate, don't work like that. Does not work like that. I know. I can see where this is going now. All right, let's go.
Supposedly, with his latest contract that Reece James had signed. Let's just say, even if it's something around 2.
Let me just reiterate, because people don't know this about Reece James's contract, yeah? And Reece James is an absolute baller, generational for me as well, as is Mason Mount. Both world-class players, both the future of Chelsea, both the DNA of Chelsea, both one of our own. Without these two players, I think we lose all our identity about what it means to play for Chelsea. And these kids, these two, know exactly what it means to play for Chelsea. So as far as I'm concerned, you have to put them on par with each other as the ones that should be the top earners at this football club compared to all the other players that we're bringing in from different leagues and whatnot, yeah? So that's the way I look at it. But Reece James was on a 4-year deal before he signed his deal this year. He was on a 4-year deal. His current deal had 4 years on it, and he was on about 40 grand a week. Now, let's have it right. He's not going to wait another year on 40 grand a week. It's just not happening. So the urgency to sign a new contract on money that he should be on was the right thing to do, and it's been addressed. Big up to Reece James, yeah. Big up to the baller, and he got his contract, and I'm very happy he's got his contract. So at the end of the day, that is a different situation to Minnals Mount, because Minnals Mount has got just under 18 months left on his contract. So really, the urgency should be more with Mason Mount. This is where it's a sticky one. It's a sticky one because the longer that contract goes down, the better offers he's going to get from elsewhere. Already, Liverpool, Juventus has been touted out this today. I know City are interested in him because that's been reported. I know Manchester United are interested in him. That's been reported. Xavi loves the player from Barcelona. That's been reported. So I know that the big clubs are there waiting. Now, the big clubs know they can pay a signing on fee or they can pay a small transfer fee to Chelsea because the club itself has no legs to stand on when it comes to selling Mason Mount because he's got such little time on his contract. By January, he's going to have just 13 months left, which is just over a year. It's nothing. So they're playing it brave, Chelsea Football Club and Bowley. You know what I mean? You're playing it very, very brave because it's going to come to a point. Clubs are sniffing. Clubs want this player because he's a minerals general. He's a fucking baller and he's world class. So we have to question this, guys. What are the ball doing? What are they doing?
200 or between 200 to 250K. 7-year contract between 200 to 250K. That's a high caliber of income, man. Like,
Sterling's not. He's on a 5-year deal on 300 grand and he's much older. So I don't get it. Like, 250 is still not a lot. It's not a lot. These two players, well, Reece James, I know he's on about 300. So 300 grand each is about right. If not, Mason Mount should get a bit more, to be honest. Let's have it right. Reece is always injured, bruv. He's always injured. He misses a third of the season. For the last, 2 seasons? For even the first season, was he out a little bit? So Mason Mount has played the most games. Mason Mount's almost on 200 games for Chelsea, and he's only 23. This is his 4th season. So, yeah, we've got to value that. Anyway.
Where will be the urge? Where will be the urge to go, like, work harder, thrive for a better contract? Like, you're already in such a supreme contract for a 7-year period. Is the drive going to be the same if it was a shorter contract, 5-year contract? That's generally what happens, right? Less amount of money. Then you might create some sort of a hunger in a player that will want to produce at a higher level so that they can get an even better contract down the track. I mean, look, from Mason Mount's point of view, he's actually probably done the right thing. He's probably said to himself, do you know what? I don't want to agree on the 7-year contract because he probably believes in about 2 to 3 years' time, he's probably going to perform even more.
This is where Mizzy don't get it. You see, the 7-year length ain't a problem. He'll devote his whole career to Chelsea. The problem is what's the amount? But no one really knows. All we know is that he's turned down 150 grand. 150 grand. Sol was on 150 grand. On loan. Sol was on 150 grand. Of course he's gonna accept 150 grand. Do you think Reece accepted 150 grand? Hell no. So we have to use the same energy, bro. Same energy.
It'll be fantastic for us. And that's probably why he's probably thinking, do you know what? I want to demand more money. I want to give myself the opportunity to go again for another contract extension. But when you've signed up a 7-year contract, you kind of, sort of declined your opportunity to go for that second contract extension again, right? 7 years. I think Mason Mount, he's 23, 24. I think he's going towards 24. 7 years will take him about 30, 31 years. And perhaps after that, he doesn't even get a contract extension. Do you know what I mean? So having a shorter contract from Mason Mount's point of view.
In these deals, normally, I don't know if he knows, if Mizzy knows, yeah, but the thing is, in these deals, they normally have a review after like the fourth year in that contract. There's probably a clause in that contract to maybe negotiate, depending on how you perform, what you've delivered at the club, what goals you score, assists, whatever it is, or how many appearances. And then they review it, and you might get a little bumper deal on top of that for the remaining 2 years or 3 years. That's always possible. That's why there's a 7-year contract. It doesn't mean it's set in stone in 7 years. That's all he's going to get, because teams can come in, because Mason Mount's only 23. So when Mason Mount hits 26, borderline 27, he's hitting his prime. And when he hits his prime, and he's got less years on his contract, clubs will go in and pay the money. And that's where you renegotiate another contract. So I wouldn't really worry about that. Like, this is all talking about the length of the contract. Who cares? I don't care about length of contract. I want him to stay for the rest of his career, and I know he will stay for the rest of his career if Bowley does the right thing and stops pissing around.
Kind of secures him and gives him the ability to perhaps go for something better. And at the same time, if he wants to leave Chelsea Football Club down the track, if ever, I don't know, then it kind of allows him to have a better sort of strength, I suppose, in the contract. The longer the contract, the less strength the player has, the more strength, the more power the club, your owning club kind of has. The shorter the contract, more power the player has, much like what's happened with Declan Rice at the moment. Declan Rice can't seem to do anything because he had a long-term contract with West Ham with an option.
If the price is right, I guarantee Mason Mount signs a 7-year deal. He doesn't care. It's not about the length of contract. Yeah, he's cool. Club's got a bit of power, but I'm getting what I deserve financially. That's where there's an indifference between the ownership and Minnals Mount. And he's well within his rights to demand a high salary. Fucking right. Let's go.
Of 1 more year extension. So, but from Chelsea's point of view, we need to calm down with these long-term contracts, man, because if this player goes south, touch wood, he doesn't.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Oh dear, the cookie's crumbling for old Mizzy. Let's move on.
But for instance, he does. Turns out to be something like that Dele Alli sort of situation. I don't know if you guys...
Fuck, everyone brings up the Dele Alli situation, bruv. Listen, let's have it right, Mizzy, all right? You're talking about a player, all of a sudden he's declined like he's dropped off a fucking cliff. All right, in this start of the season where we've played 14, 13 games in the Premier League. We've qualified top of our group, Champions League. San Siro, 45 minutes, man of the match, balling out, fantastic. But then you look at the changes. Potter made 52 changes, and he's only managed Chelsea for 14 games. That is a lot of changes to make. So I don't know where anyone expects, not just Mason Mount, but all the other players to ball out and all of a sudden play amazing. Where's the consistency? There's no balance in the team. Our midfield is shocking. We just get run over in the midfield. We've got injuries on top of that. So all of a sudden this affects Mason Mount's contract. Fuck no. Let's look at the last 3 seasons. That's your sample. That's what you go by. You don't, and you're talking about him decline like Dele Alli. This is ridiculous, bruv. It's ridiculous.
I remember there was a particular Blackburn player a long time ago who then moved to Spurs. This is going back a while. This is me showing my age at the moment. David Bentley. I don't know if you guys remember David Bentley.
Oh my word!
David Bentley was a particular player.
This geezer's bringing out players like Milner, Dele Alli, Bentley. It's just fucking disrespectful to compare to Mount. Like, you're a wrong un, mate. Would he be talking like this with Minnals Mount's dad? No chance. This is what I'm talking about, guys. These guys have these shit narratives, these shit opinions. People go, oh, everyone's entitled to their opinion. Yeah, but their opinions are shocking, bruv. Their comparisons are ridiculous. They talk about, oh, it's outlandish what people talk about Mason Mount. What he's saying is fucking outlandish. Let's have it right. It's absolutely ridiculous. This is ridiculous. My ears are hurting.
That had a unbelievable rise to stardom from Blackburn, and they were touting him to be the next David Beckham, this, that, the other. And once David Bentley then moved from Blackburn to Spurs, it kind of all started going south, and before you knew it, David Bentley's career just disappeared. So look, I'm just saying that we need to be careful. We have to be very careful when sending out these long-term contracts. Do you know what I mean? So from both sides, I think
Wow, I'd love to hear what he thinks about Reece James, whether he's going to have such a fucking drop off, or maybe if we get some minutes out of Reece, we can fucking judge it. But in a minute, we can't. But all of a sudden, this whole trajectory is an absolute fall off a cliff from this guy. Oh, we have to be prepared that he might end up like David Bentley. He might end up like Dele Alli when he's absolutely levels above these players, just naturally, bruv. Let's have it right. What happened today? Today Sterling came out and had it out with Walker about who's the most gifted, naturally talented player in England. They brought up Phil Foden, and then Walker brings up, actually, no, Mount, he's really technically good. Oh, is he better than Phil Foden? Well, obviously, Walker's not going to say that. Obviously, yeah, he's not going to say that. And then all of a sudden, Sterling comes out and he says, oh, no. Mason Mount, he's technical, mate. Technically is good. If anything, there's things that Foden can't do that Mason Mount does do. All right? And you're bringing up players like Dele Alli and Bentley and Milner, who ain't got no technical ability anywhere near these level players. And let's have it right. Sterling played with Foden for years. He's been with Minnels Mount for 3 months. And he's already comparing him. They're already talking about them being terrible. Where's Grealish? Where's Sancho for technical ability? I bet you asked Mizzy, I would be talking about Sancho and be talking about Grealish being technical. Crying out loud, bruv. This is what I'm talking about, guys. People don't understand Mason Mount. These guys don't get Mason Mount. They really don't. I'm getting a little bit rattled at the minute, a little bit annoyed on what I'm hearing. I expect this nonsense. This is why I don't watch it. This is why I don't watch this stuff. And like I say, he wouldn't be talking this nonsense in front of his dad, having him on last year and all that. I'd love to see that. Love to see him bring up Dele Alli and fucking Milner and Bentleys and all these players. And tell him, oh, I think your son's, he might decline. So maybe a 7-year contract ain't too good. I used to think he was a phenomenal player. Now I don't know, I don't know. Crying out loud, bruv. All right, there's over 200 people in here. I know there's a lot of saucy ones in here. Guys, hit the like button. Hit the like button. You know what I mean? Get me to 200 likes minimum, guys. Let's continue landing it on this geezer. What else you got to say? Crying out loud. We're only, 11 minutes in.
I think Mason Mount has done the right thing for not agreeing or rejecting apparently the 7-year contract term. He's probably looking for something a bit shorter, perhaps a 5-year contract with a bumper pay rise. That's probably the right way to go about. Now, in regards to let's talk about Mason Mount as a player. Let's talk about whether does he absolutely deserve a contract extension? In my opinion, he at least deserves a contract extension.
Oh, that's lovely of you. He deserves a contract extension at the very least. Fucking hell. But look at let's talk about Mason Mount. Yeah, he does deserve a little extension.
But let's talk about the player himself now. Right? Before we do that, let's take some of your comments. We'll talk about the player very, very soon. I understand 7-year contract for RJ. He's definitely world-class or close to it. Future captain, absolutely spot on. That's the level of player that you want to probably tie down for a long term. He is
right. So already I've seen he loves Reece James, as I do. Yeah, I love Reece James, and he's world class. Yeah, but so is Mason Mount, and this is the problem, you see. So now straight away you've got, I want Reece James to be captain. Yeah, well, let's have it right. Let's land the minerals now. All the way through the youth, Mason Mount and Reece James played together for Chelsea. Do you know who was captain, Mizzy? Mason Mount in that team where they won the Youth Cup, the title and all that. Yeah, Mason Mount was captain. At senior level, do you know who's been made captain? Mason Mount. 4 times. No, 5 times he's been made captain. Lampard, Tuchel, both made him captain. Yeah. Reece James has never been captain at Chelsea. He was captain at Wigan, but he wasn't captain at Chelsea. So I don't know where everyone gets his narrative that Reece James is a captain. For me, he's a vice captain because he's proper Chelsea and he's absolutely he's got a big influence in the team. But when it comes to when you look at someone being vocal or you look at someone who digs you out of games. Mason Mount is like absolutely that. Mason Mount is first to everyone. Like, I'll give you an example. When we played the Fulham game away at Fulham, and Asby got a hospital tackle, yeah, and then he was on the floor, could have got injured badly. And the first player to go up to the Fulham player out of the whole squad was Mason Mount. Mason Mount goes up to every single scuffle. He goes up to the ref. He has it out. Even when Asby's there, bruv, as our captain. I haven't seen Reece James do it. I haven't seen Reece James being vocal. So I don't know. I don't understand. Maybe it's just favoritism. Why people just all of a sudden see Reece James as a main captain when he's never been captain at Chelsea. I don't get it. I don't get it. But yeah, he deserves his 7-year contract. I've said all this. But let's see I want to see the agenda.
Proper world-class player. Proper world-class player.
Right. So there we have it. Straight away, Reece James is proper world-class player. But Mason Mount, I think he's going to decline like fucking David Bentley and Dele Alli. There we have someone who does not understand Mason Mount and doesn't understand his level and what he is, and that he is world class. This is the problem. This is the problem, and that's why this platform now sets off a narrative to feed all that. Fine, do what you want. I'm here reacting to it. It's shocking. It's shocking, really. Let's waver it on and let's see what else he's going to say now. Let's see what he's going to say.
But for Mount, I would have to say 5 years. He still has ways to go to get better a lot. Absolutely agree.
Ways to go better a lot. Okay, this is the comment, yeah. But obviously he's green with
Jensen saying, if we get Rice, we'll see more Mount and Rice smiling highlights than goals. Ray Allen saying David Bentley is better than Mount. But David Bentley went south quick. He went south quick. So
there's quite a negative tone towards Mount to sort of give that narrative that he's going to be like a David Bentley and he's going down quick, yeah. But he was such a wicked player, yeah. And I just find it. Look at the comments. Look at the ones that are commenting and what they're saying. It tells you everything about. This is just one little video. What's the general narrative been on this geezer's platform? Where all these people are agreeing with this shit.
Before you knew it, like his career was over. Like he was a sensation in Blackburn, and then he went to Spurs.
About Mason Mount,
like 4 or 5 seasons, his career disappeared. Like he was gone. Chelsea fans complain about literally everything. Laugh my ass off. Mount doesn't deserve a contract extension. I think it's nice. We want to renew his contract. I want him to stay, but need to be more consistent. Okay, now let's talk about Mason Mount. Let's talk about Mason Mount defensively and offensively, and let's try and work things out. Off the ball, from a defensive point of view. Mason Mount works hard in terms of pressing. He predominantly wins his duels, whether it's in the ground, whether it's in aerially. Like he's very, like when it comes to combat, like he's strong. He's there. Like I've never seen him shy away from a challenge. Do you know what I mean? Like he's probably one guy. If you pass the ball, you know he's going to be able to shield the ball. And without the ball as well, you know if it's a 50-50 opportunity, Mason Mount's going to be there and he's going to get into that duel and he's going to win. And do you know what? This straight, you might sit there and go, who cares? No, it's actually quite important because there's a lot of Chelsea players right now who don't put themselves around and who don't.
I tell you, it's very, very important, this attribute, because he's having to hold hands of midfielders. He's having to do extra work rate for the front line that's so incompetent, outdoing them on GNA. He's having to do everything but his role in itself, which should be just an 8-10 role, but he can't just do an 8-10 role because our midfield hasn't got the minerals to do it. We haven't got the personnel. You laugh about Declan Rice and then be smiling, but what Declan Rice gives you is an actual defensive midfielder who's got the ability to play quick transitional passes, whether it's long ball or directness. He's got strength, he's got legs, he's got defensive ability. He can slot into centre backs. You can go back 3, back 4. He can play a 8 position, box to box. He can play a sitting 6. He's got a shot on him. He's got aggression. He's young. We haven't got one player like that in our team, in our current midfield. You bring Rice to Chelsea Football Club or a profile player of that caliber, Mason Mount is freed. But right now, you got Kovacic and Kante, both injury prone. You got Kovacic, what's his name? Jorginho, who we know runs underwater. Only when we're in full control of the game, it benefits him. But when we're trying to get the ball back, you need 3 other midfielders or players to help and dig him out and hold his hand. And that's the fact of the matter of the way we are at the minute and the condition we are. We've got no core or backbone in that middle of the park. All right. It puts a lot of pressure on our defence. This is why we're struggling this season. And you're relying on a Loftus-Cheek playing next to Jorginho. It's just like, I don't know what you expect. And the transitions as a whole at Chelsea Football Club are so slow. And this doesn't just affect Mason Mount. It affects everyone in the team, especially the attack. Our attack's not shit. But if you've got slow transitions, you haven't got a chance, mate. You really ain't.
Who don't win their ground duels and their aerial duels often enough. Press as well. Intensity is always there in terms of he can play for the entire 90 minutes. Defensively, as I said, he's a strong lad. Positionally, more times than none, he's quite aware as to what's going on. So from that side of things, he's okay. I wouldn't say he's like some sort of an elite off the ball player.
Right. This is where you're an absolute wrong un for saying Mason Mount ain't elite off the ball, because he absolutely is. His awareness, his vision. Go and watch. I can't remember what Twitter site it is, and they do the radar with the eyes and they scope. Like Frank Lampard used to do, his head was always everywhere. He knew where every player. Mason Mount is like that within the game. Mason Mount gets into pockets that is so hard for the opposition to track. And he actually pulls defensive players, midfielders out of position, which helps Reece James on the right. It helps Chilwell on the left. It helps our midfield progress. It helps our attackers get into positions. His off-the-ball work, he was spoken and compared like Cruyff off the ball, mate. He's elite off the ball. Why are you downplaying it? Like, do you not watch Mason Mount or something? It's like these guys want to talk about Mason Mount, but they don't actually watch him properly. They don't actually analyze the player himself, how quick he is. I mean, you bring up just an example, that Arsenal player said the hardest player who's ever played against was Mason Mount last year. He goes, he's so hard to track. That's called off the ball movement, bruv. That's elite movement. Why do you think Modric wanted Mason Mount's shirt after the Real Madrid semi-final? What, because it's just Mason Mount? No, mate. He recognises what a baller is, how hard he is, how we dominated their midfield because of Mason Mount's movement, pressing, work rate, vision, the fact that he scored the goal to send us to the final, the fact that they couldn't track him. These are the qualities of off the ball. Mason Mount's unbelievable, mate, off the ball, what he does for his teammates, how he brings his teammates into the game. And the fact that you're saying it's not even like elite or not, like, you haven't got a clue, mate. Honestly, this guy hasn't got a clue, man.
That defensively adds a lot of venom to us. Probably won't go that far, but he's a decent off the ball player. There's no doubt about that. Now, offensively, he definitely has in his locker to find key passes. He definitely does.
Oh, that's nice of you. Funny enough, this season, because everyone's saying he's such a poor player this season, he's got the highest key pass rate out of our entire team. And Sterling is second, who's been scoring the most goals. Yeah? You got Reece James after that, below Sterling. Mason Mount's got the highest number of key passes. Go and statistically check it out. It's a fact. Absolute fact. So his key passes are key. And that's just this season. That's just this season. If you want to talk about last season, oh, mate, You're in for a treacle, mate. You really are. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. He's number one. He's number one. What a surprise. What a surprise. Anyway, let's move on.
He can pretty much, he's been tried in every position. Right wing, left wing, false nine, number 10, 8, 6, in the double pivot as well.
Funny enough, his versatility is amazing, but that's credit to Mason Mount. You see, this is where you should. This is how you should. I'll educate how you should talk about Mason Mount. Mason Mount has spoken about it as well before you made this video, saying it's very important that you have to add versatility and a different dynamic to your game, because it allows you to help your team and give your gaffer options, and it only makes you a better player. And ironically, if you go out in world football right now, name me another player that can play 6 positions. There ain't one. At his age, at a top level, there isn't one. There actually isn't one. And double 6, when he played in the friendly before we played Arsenal, we played in the double 6. He outplayed Jorginho. In fact, Jorginho had a good game in that, playing next to Mason Mount. Every time Mason Mount got the ball, it was half turn, direct forward. And then he scored that worldie of a goal outside the box, and we won the game and got man of the match. That's him playing double 6, which I think Potter should be doing now, because he's better than Luke Loftus-Cheek. He's better than Gallagher. He's better than anyone we got, apart from obviously Kante, Kovacic are injured. So, yeah, I'm playing Mount now, because in the day, he'd get more involved in the game. At the minute, he's not getting any involvement in the game because you've got Jorginho Loftus-Cheek or Zachariah. You know, it's just like slow transitions, too many touches. Anyway, we move.
At times, we've seen in recent times, whether it's Thomas Tuchel, whether it's Graham Potter, whether they've happened by coincidence because other players were injured, that's by the by. Versatile. He definitely has the ability to find key passes. We've seen it.
Can we just say, when he's versatile, are we not going to acknowledge that he played right forward in the front three and left forward in the front three, and he outdone goals and assists on every attacker? Every attacker. He outdone. Out of position. Name me a player that's doing that. I can't name you one. He got better stats than Phil Foden last season. And Foden was in Ballon d'Or. It's ridiculous. Foden didn't even score against Real Madrid, bruv. Mason Mount did at the Bernabeu. So it's all agenda, obviously, against Mason Mount. He's got this stigma of agenda merchants just cling on to him. It's like shit on a blanket. And it's tiresome, mate. It just gets boring and mundane. But the real Chelsea fans, they get Minerals, man, anyway. But let's carry on.
We have
race
seen
through this.
We can't sit here and go, nah, Miz, what do
Hey guys, I'm going to share with you 3 things you need to start doing in Photoshop.
What are you talking about? He can't produce passes. No, we have. Champions League final, many other matches, we've seen him produce those passes. In recent times, I remember.
Let's talk about. All right, let's see what
against AC Milan, a couple of those games, he produced some really good passes.
Single-handedly won us that first half at AC Milan. Single-handedly, and in fact, you talk about a captain. Even he got booked for pushing Giroud off Jorginho. Yeah, because he was trying to put Jorginho for that penalty while he's got lasers in his eyes. That's a captain material, bruv. Reece James was playing that game. Just to throw that one in there. Anyway. And he won the man of the match in 45 minutes at the San Siro away from home. Name me a player that's done that. I can't think of any players. Go on.
But he doesn't produce it on a regular basis. It's not like
He's been our most consistent player for 3 seasons. By absolute miles. He's won player of the season back to back, which tells you that. But we're not seeing it consistently. If you're talking this season, you cannot disregard the dysfunctionalities in the team, the deficiencies in the team, the injuries in the team, the change of manager, the instability, the change of ownership, and the wrong personnel at the time when we're in a transfer window. You have to acknowledge all of these things, because it affects not only Mason Mount, it affects every fucking player clearly, because we've lost 4 games or whatever, 5 games.
I wouldn't say he's a Cesc Fabregas kind of a player. He's not like a key pass monster. He's not like a Juan Mata. Do you know what I mean? Some of the players that we've had in our time.
Well, you talk about Juan Mata. He got the assist for the corner for Didier Drogba, yeah, to go 1-1 in Munich, right? But if that's Mason Mount, it's just a corner. But because it's Mata's corner, this is I'm not saying Mizzy's saying this. I'm just saying this is the way they look at it. If Mason Mount gives an assist on a corner, he's just a corner merchant, yeah. But Mata gets one of the most important assists from a corner for Drogs to header that in to take us to extra time when we go and win on penalties, yeah. All right. Well, Mason Mount plays an open play assist. In fact, the biggest open play assist in Chelsea Football Club history to win the Champions League. And they bring up all sorts of nonsense about the assist. But the bottom line is, without Mason Mount's assist, we don't score that goal, and we don't win that game, and we don't win that trophy. And he was 22 years old. Without his goal against Porto, his goal against Real Madrid, we don't go through, and we don't win that trophy. So when you talk about like consistency and importance and clutch, Mason Mount is all of these things. This season's a different kind of discussion because it's the whole team at the moment. It's not just him. So his contract should be reflected on his performances this season, because if you look at all the issues and the context this season, it's dramatic, bruv. It's a shock to our system at the minute. All of us are struggling with this. But at the same time, look at when he was played in his number 8 position. He single-handedly won us the game against Aston Villa. All right? Single-handedly, 2 goals. He got the San Siro, man of the match, assists, 2 assists, won the penalty. Yeah, if you call that assist. And then you talk about the Wolves game, 2 assists in the Wolves game. I'm pretty sure it was. And he played a blind assist to Pulisic to score that goal. I mean, that is when you talk about Cesc Fabregas, that's a Cesc Fabregas pass. Damn right that is. That's a Lampard pass. That's a fucking elite pass.
Time. He ain't like a dribbling monster either. He's not like Eden Hazard. He can dribble at times. You know, he's got a good half turn. He can.
This is funny when you talk about dribbling. No, he's not an Eden Hazard dribbler. That's not what he is. But funny enough, if you look at the stats, the closest you would probably say to Eden Hazard is what? Kovacic when it comes to dribbling, yeah? All right? Mason Mount is ahead of Kovacic in dribbles. Completed dribbles, he's on 55%. Kovacic is on, I think he's on like 40 or something. That's pretty impressive for someone who's having a shocking season as well. Anyway.
He can half turn and beat players. We've seen him do that.
That's the Johan Mount turn, you see. The one like a Porto. Beautiful. Delightful that was.
He can chip in with goals. It's not like he's an elite goal-scoring machine as well.
29 GA is pretty elite for me. 29 GA is pretty elite that, you know, Lampard is the benchmark and he's equaled Lampard's 31 goals in 173 games or whatever it is. 2 years younger. And it's pretty elite. It's pretty elite. Let me bring this up. That Mason Mount's he's now got 66 GA. Let's work on the 3 seasons. That's 61 GA, Mason Mount. Frank Lampard's 46 GA for 3 years at Chelsea. His first 3 years and Mason Mount's first 3 years. And Mason Mount's 2 years younger. That's pretty fucking elite for me. When I look at Lampard being the greatest goal-scoring midfielder in the Premier League and if not in history, but yet we don't think he's a goal machine. Play him in his fucking position like Lampard was, and we'll get even more out of Mason Mount. But unfortunately, we're not getting that, Mizzy, are we? We're not getting that. We don't push that narrative anyway.
We've seen him miss opportunities. There's no doubt about that. Most recent, most notable ones are last year's FA Cup and, you know, Carling Cup, Carabao Cup, whatever you want to call it.
That is a great point. Where is it? Here it is, Trevor. And Lamps took pens. Mason Mount only, I think he took one pen, scored 1 pen or 2 pens. Lamps got 4 pens in that statistic there. But Lamps, when he went further on, scoring 18 goals, 20 goals a season, he was taking all the penalties as well. So we have to take that into consideration. But Mount doesn't take the penalties. Jorginho does. That's a great point, Trev. Big up to you, geezer.
But he can chip in with goals. He can score some key goals. We know what he did in that Champions League run. FC Porto.
Mizzy thinks he's like a wood chipper or something.
Liverpool. And there's been many other instances as well. Like we know he can score goals, but he's not an elite level goal scorer. You know, someone who's ruthless in front of goal. He's not that. So
what? And his record already doesn't tell you that he's elite ruthlessness at such a young age. No, mate, I disagree with that. I absolutely disagree with that. And you look at his goals he's scored, some beautiful goals, clinical goals. Like, that is elite. He's been our most consistent. It's beyond me. I don't get this narrative, guys. He clearly doesn't rate him. He doesn't think he's elite. Doesn't think he's anywhere near Reece James. Doesn't think he's world class. What does he fucking think he is? He thinks he's a Milner, bruv. This is what this geezer says he is. What a disrespect. I'd love you to invite Tony Mount on and tell him that you think he's a Milner, bruv, Mizzy. I dare you to do it, mate. I dare you to do it.
Bottom line, he's someone who's got value, But as I've said in recent times, and this is where the middle ground is, ladies and gentlemen, I really want to hear what you guys have to say about this, because I'm going to start taking up some comments from the live chat very, very soon. 150 of you guys are live right now. Smash the like button. Get these likes up. Let's get the likes up to 100 immediately. Mason Mount, if he was a player back in the days when we had Oscar, when we had Mata, when we had Cesc Fabregas, when
this guy brings up Oscar, bruv. Fucking hell, bruv. What's his fascination with Oscar? Oscar's got nowhere near the stats of Mason Mount. Nowhere fucking near it. Clearly didn't love our club a lot because he went and pissed off to China for the money. Just don't bring up Oscar. Mata was elite. We know that. But Mata was older than Mason Mount. Who else is he named?
When we had Eden Hazard, if we go even
and he's named Eden Hazard. Eden Hazard is not even a number 8. He's an actual like winger, number 10. Like Eden Hazard is generational as well, mate.
Further back, Frank Lampard, Ballack, and many more.
And Frank Lampard brought through Mason Mount, sees himself in Mason Mount to an extent, clearly, trusts him. He's our hardest trainer in our entire squad. And your mate Eunice can vouch me on that. Yeah. Big up to Eunice there. Yeah. He can vouch that Mason Mount is the hardest trainer at Chelsea Football Club because he went to Cobham. I don't know if he's going to go there anytime soon. I doubt it. But let's have it right. Lampard was elite like that. He would stay after training. He would be there early. He'd try shooting. Well, Mason Mount does all that, but we don't talk about that. And he's learnt off Lampard. And Lampard, like I say, out of all those players you've mentioned, they're not only different profiles, but out of those profiles, for me, Lampard is the absolute benchmark. He is who you target. And when you target to be like Frank Lampard, because he's that elite goal-scoring midfielder, I don't know whether you got shit in your eyes. I don't know what it is. And the kid's 2 years younger. He's not even playing as a good team as Frank Lampard was playing in. And yet he's pulling out these numbers. He's crazy. He's the youngest Chelsea player from the academy, scored 20 Premier League goals. He's the only player to score and assist 5 consecutive Premier League games since Eden Hazard, the GOAT. Yeah? No one else has done that. I don't get it, mate. I don't get this geezer. Every manager plays him as well because he's a minerals general, mate. Let's move on.
Mason Mount would probably be a bench player, coming off the bench, impact player. And he would have a solid impact. He would have.
Is that what we said when Havertz came in on 72 million? Is that what we said when all these players are going to come in? Mason Mount's just going to be a bench player. You're talking in that era. It's a different era. You'll never know that. That's a hypothetical. That's your opinion saying Mason Mount doesn't get into that team. But you don't know that. You don't know that. And my shout is, I reckon he would get in that team. I think he would always. Where you don't understand Mason Mount is Mason Mount will do whatever it takes to be on that pitch and play, whether it's out of position or not. He will do it and he'll land the minerals and deliver, which he's done out of position for Chelsea under Thomas Tuchel. Lampard played him as a number 8 and he balled out. Potter did play him in the few games that I mentioned, Wolves, Villa, and San Siro, and he played him in the number 8 and he balled out. He even balled out in the home game. Against AC Milan, playing in that position. He was so influential. In fact, he helped create the first, was it the second goal we scored? So you don't know that. You're just going by your stinky agenda and your analysis and where you rate Mason Mount that he doesn't get that team. Of course, with your narrative, you're going to think that. Anyway, let's move on.
Have a solid impact. He would be a rotational player during that time. And this is my honest opinion. I'm talking about back then. Right now, the team isn't good enough. Right now, Mason Mount, he's seen, last 2 seasons, player of the season. 2 seasons ago, when he was player of the season, I think he definitely deserved it. He had a sensational season.
Yeah, so therefore he deserves it.
Had he had those level of players, Mason Mount probably wouldn't be around that area.
See, all this discrediting, if we had those players at that era, he wouldn't get it. Listen, let's have it right, Mizzy, yeah? Fucking hell, bruv. This is jarring, mate. Shall I tell you why he gets that season? He gets player of the season. He gets player of the season, that Champions League era. I'll give you a lovely stat. It's a beautiful one. This is how you should be talking on your channel. This is why Mason Mount's elite, bruv. Mason Mount is the only player, bruv. The only player to score and or assist in the quarterfinal, semi-final, final of Champions League and go and win it. And look at the names on that list. Messi, Ronaldo, Suarez, Neymar, Mount. The only English player, the only Chelsea player in history. The only English player in history. That's sensational, mate. That is sensational. Not to mention his GA that season to help us get and qualify Champions League and be fundamental and instrumental in everything that Tuchel did. The fact he was made captain twice that season as well. Let's have it right. And then you go to the season after that to win Player of the Year and he gets 29 GA. It's ridiculous. You got this so-called cement-booted rat fraud for 100 million on 440 grand a week, scoring against Chesterfield and Plymouth, scoring 15 goals. Kai Havertz on 14 goals. Mason Mount's got 29 GA more than any other player. He got 13 goals, 16 assists. Do you know he's beaten Lampard for 3 seasons? Why is that discredited? Why is that not acknowledged? Why is that not respected? He's an agenda merchant, bro. He's an agenda merchant. That's what he is.
Area. Last season, I think Mason Mount won it in default. Last season, we didn't even have a good season. Some would even argue that maybe Thiago Silva should have got the player of the season.
Thiago Silva didn't play as many games as Mason Mount, and I don't know where this narrative for Thiago Silva comes from, but he won it in default. You're a fucking wrong 'un, bruv. This guy's a wrong 'un, bruv. Who says he wins it in default, mate? You're an embarrassment. 29 GA. Who else got 29 GA that season? I don't get it, mate. I don't get it.
The season last season.
Hold on.
Some would say other players as well. But it was a poor season. That's why no one.
Where's the talk of Reece James? He's world class. Why didn't Reece James win player of the season last year? Why didn't Reece James win it the year before? Mizzy, tell me. I'm waiting.
Knew who was going to get it, and I think Mason Mount just by default won. as I keep saying, if we had those caliber of players, I think Mason
This, ladies and gentlemen, winning it by that's venomous to me. That's an insult. It's not even to me. It's an insult to Minerals Mount. Disrespectful, mate. Absolutely disrespectful. Long way from Starbucks, this geezer.
Mount, at best, he would still make it to the bench. He would be a rotational player. He would be from the bench, and he would do a stupendous job for Chelsea Football Club. But right now, we don't have those caliber of players. The other factor
It's
about
always we don't have these players. We don't have these players like this. This whole team is shit. Yeah, this is the narrative right now. Where our whole team is shit. But this team won the Club World Cup, Super Cup, won us all the trophies, Champions League, qualified for Champions League back to back. Even under Lampard, you talk about Lampard's season as well, being without any experience, only from Derby, and coming in with a transfer ban, no Eden Hazard, and he brings through Mason Mount, Reece James, Gilmore, Tammy Abraham, and he brings in these players, and we go and qualify for Champions League. It's like, but we're good enough. If we've qualified for Champions League, it means we're good enough. You know, you can say, yeah, we've done it by the skin of our hair on our nutsack. Big deal. But we still did it. We were still good enough to get there. How you get there, it doesn't really matter because you're building, you're in transition. We've been building since Conte's winning the Premier League. And we still haven't built. We still haven't invested properly. And our signings will tell you that. All the transfer markets will tell you that up to this point now.
About Mason Mount is, and I think the reason why he gets selected a lot and frequently is his character, is the way he trains. He's the best trainer out there. Recently, you know what Yunus said in his video. He is the one who puts in 100% in the training ground. This is probably why, you know, managers
119%, fella. Not just 100%, 119%. Every training session. And that's with England as well. That's why he gets picked, because he will always deliver. And he's technical. He's a baller. Let's have it right.
Just like Frank Lampard. Frank Lampard liked Mason Mount anyway, regardless. He really, really liked Mason Mount.
It's like this whole narrative of, oh, he likes him. He likes him. He just likes him. Liking someone ain't the reason why you're picked, mate, week in, week out. Ain't the reason why you're given an opportunity, mate. This kid's been spoken of like Johan Cruyff at Vitesse, mate, in the Dutch league. He was one player of the season in the Dutch league, scoring volleys from the outside of his right foot, coming on for 4 minutes, winning games. He was incredible in that game. He had grown men on their asses, mate. Yeah. There's a reason why they pick Mason Mount. Not because they like him. Oh, he's a nice guy. Oh, he's a Chelsea boy. Yeah, we're going to play him. No, mate, because he's got damn minerals. He's a fucking baller. And they know he's just a world-class player, mate, at such a young age. He's got what it takes. Oh,
now,
mate, John.
So it didn't even matter about training ground or anything. He just loved this kid's attitude, the way he went about it. And this is the thing. Mason Mount's character is a sensational character, probably one of the best characters we've seen at Chelsea Football Club. Attitude, rarely involved in any sort of controversial matters, well-spoken. And as I said, he trains hard. He trains really hard. He sets the standards in training. So that
interesting. That's what a captain does. John Terry spoke that a lot. Be in training, always train hard, be the best trainer. His dad might have told you, Mizzy, when I read up on it, that his advice to Minerals Mount was train like every session is your last ever session. And play your every game like it's your last ever game, because that's the level. You have to push yourself to the limit every single time, and that's what Minerals Mount does. That's why he, no matter whatever the level of the team is, all right, he will always go above it. And you can bring in all the elite players, and he will go above that. He will make sure he's above that, and he will always be on top. He'll always be the most important player. He is a captain, he's a leader, he's a fantastic face of Chelsea Football Club. He epitomises us and the fans and everything about the way we are at Chelsea, and the fact that he's come from Cobham and he's been 6 years old. You cannot discredit all this stuff. This is what it's about. It's called heritage, mate. It's being proper Chelsea. It's understanding the values and what the club is. He loves the club. He sincerely loves the club. You can tell that. It's clear as day. All he wants to do is win at this club, as does Reece James. And I think, like, there's nothing bad we should say. There's nothing we should downplay on him. There is a reason why he is the way he is, not how he is, not just as a person on and off the pitch, but as a footballer, because that's what it's about. It's about his footballing ability. It's about, I don't hear enough about his football ability. That's what I don't hear enough about.
That's the other positive. And one other main positive is Mason Mount is always available. He's always available.
Well, he's bionic man, brothers. Mitchie would say, yeah. He's, you know what I mean? He's just minerals, generals. You want your steel, diamonds, whatever. They never break. They don't crack, mate. Yeah. That's what the minerals are. And he's that. He's so durable, so industrious. And he's a quick healer, bruv. As we know, the Carabao Cup final, he's rushed back off being out for 3 games, his ankle like a balloon. And he still had the 2 best chances, got into the positions, was an unbelievable best player in that game, and he got taken off because he was burnt out because he's not actually match fit. And that was a 60% Mason Mount. You know, if you give him 100% Mason Mount or 90% Mason Mount, he's putting those 2 chances away, and we're winning that Carabao Cup. That's just the way the cookie crumbles, bro. That's the way it is. You know what I mean? The baller.
And that's a very, very big factor. To be available and not be injured is, and this is why Mason Mount gets to play nearly 60 matches per season.
He's close to 200 games. He plays more than Reece James does. Yet Reece James is on almost 300 grand, or if not, he's 300 grand a week. Yeah, on a 6-year plus deal, which I've got no issues with. I ain't got no issues with that at all, because I think he's well within his rights to have that. So's Mason Mount. But the thing is, when you talk about availability, consistency, and what he brings to the team, Mason Mount is. I look at Mason Mount and Reece James hand in hand. I think they're both instrumental in how they play. But one's a right wing back, and one's a midfielder. A midfielder's role is so core because it's literally the middle of the park. I think Reece James on that side, dominant as you like, and so instrumental. But we also have the left side to think about. We don't have a Reece James on the left side. It would be great to have a Reece James on the left side, and we could have maybe 2 Mason Mounts in midfield, and we're balling, bruv. But that's not the way it is.
But overall, we've seen it. We've seen it over the last probably.
You guys know how it is when you buy a new Mac. It's super fast at first, and then pretty soon after it starts to slow down. That's probably because you haven't been using
Mac.
12 months to about 16 months. We've seen it. How many times have we said in the watch along, man, we need a bit more. We need a bit more from that position, from that player. And I know today we're just talking about Mason Mount. There's other players as well, man. There's other players that are probably worse.
Oh, thank you for noticing that. What it's taken us 20 odd minutes to get to actually mentioning about the team's deficiencies about this season, which you're using as this main sample about whether he deserves. He just deserves a little extension. He doesn't deserve as much money as what Reece James is on. It's shocking, mate. Shocking. Anyway,
but that's for a different day. I'm talking about Mount today, right? We've sat here and said we need more, and we just couldn't see that more. We've seen bits and pieces here and there this season, especially when Graham Potter took over this season. That block of matches, AC Milan, couple of matches, Wolves. He looked sensational, Mason Mount. It got to a point where you couldn't drop Mason Mount. You couldn't. And I said, after those 2 matches against AC Milan and the Wolves one, I said, you know what? The first name that comes into the mind in the team sheet is Mason Mount.
Yeah, it's funny that. But let's have it right. The narrative by Mizzy here, Matisse, Eunice was hold off on his contract, as everyone else was saying, all right, up to these games, yeah. Don't pay him the contract. Doesn't deserve the contract. He's not as good as Reece James. This is the narrative they push out. But now all of a sudden, he's balled out. Now, he's untouchable. He's got to play. The thing is, what you don't understand with Mason Mount is, irrespective of his GA, what he gives to the team, no one else can give. And he sacrifices himself for the team. He covers his teammates relentlessly all the time. always gets into positions to help his teammates, tracks back, fucking running. Listen, why do you think we've got so many injuries in midfield, bruv? Because our midfielders ain't fucking capable. They're not capable, mate, especially without Kante. But Kante and Kovacic run because they're playing next to fucking Jorginho, who hasn't got any legs. You know, once you get a defensive midfielder who's young, fit, athletic, has got the ability to play a long fucking ball when Mason Mount's in position and receive it in a quick transition, you're going to see madness, mate. You see elite football all day long, but we don't have that. And we maybe only have it in certain moments, but it's all metric, small metric passing in our midfield. There's no different dimension about the way we play. So it affects, you know, you play Mason Mount in those 4 games where he was untouchable, man of the match and all that, 45 minutes, man of the match is 0. There's a reason. And there's also this reason that Potter makes so many fucking changes. That's the reason. And you've got injuries. It's just like, come on, bruv.
But again, after that, Mason Mount dipped. Also, the team dipped. And this is the thing. This is the thing about Mason Mount that I feel. I think he's definitely a Chelsea level player. There's no doubt about that. He is a Chelsea.
Oh, you think? See how unconvincing this fella is. I can't, mate. Guys, this is painful. This is really painful for me to listen to. It's so painful, mate. I'm trying to get as quick as I can to the end because it's jarring as hell, bruv. But while I'm at it, guys, smash the like button. If you ain't subscribed, subscribe, guys. But let's land it, guys. Let's just get through this, man. We've got to grind through it. We've got to chip in like Minnels Mount, as Mizzy says. Let's chip in, guys.
Chelsea level player. I don't think he's that sensation that we think. Some of us think. I can even see in these live chats, a lot of people are saying, "Oh, Mason Mount lives rent free." These are the people that I'm talking about that have him in such a pedestal, which is
because he deserves to be
very, very. It's not the right way to look at it. It's unbalanced. Do you know what I mean? It's borderline at times ridiculous.
All right, so you're going like Reece James is world class, no debate, blah blah blah. That's outlandish, is it? Isn't that outlandish? He's not always fit. He's not always played all our games. The thing is, I'm asking you the question because I believe Reece James is world class, but so is Mason Mount. But the way you look at it is like they're so apart. And I can't understand it, mate. You lost me. You lost me, geezer. You lost me.
And then there's people that look at him in a very demeaning way, in a very degrading way. That ain't right either.
Yeah, of course it's not. You're fucking borderline on that. So
honestly, if you're a balanced person in the live chat, nearly 170 of you guys are live right now. Everything that I've said, if you look back, I don't think you can complain. What I've just said is a very balanced level. Not overhyping him, not underplaying him. It's literally the balance level.
You're so fucking balanced, geezer. You're balancing fucking eggs, mate. This literally, you know, them athletes, they go on the balancing with holding the eggs, bruv, on the spoons. Egg on a spoon. That's what you're doing, mate. It's shocking, man. It's shocking. Sitting on the fence. It's like, you don't get the player, man. You just don't get him. You don't understand what player we got at our football club. You really don't. And that's sad, really, because you're a Chelsea content creator. You got a platform. And you're talking about shit you don't understand. And that's dangerous because it pushes out a narrative. And then, I don't know, God knows what your fellows have fucking agree with it, probably. I would assume so. That's why they support you. And fair play, do what you want. But fuck me. It's so wishy-washy, man.
And that's just my my perspective about Mason Mount. So in regards to him getting his contract extension, I'm all okay with it. But
oh, thank God. Thank God Mizzy's all right with it, guys. He's all right for the contract extension. We're all right, guys. Is everyone relieved now?
we need quality. We need quality in and around him. We need badly we need quality in and around him. All right, let's have a look at what you guys have to say. There's a lot of people in this live chat. I'm just going to say, please be respectful when you're commenting, because if you're not, the people that have that are the mods in the live chat, and even myself, I will block you out. If you're not respectful, not just to me, man, but to people within the live chat, I'm just going to block you out, because this is the thing about Mason Mount. People that want to talk sensibly will get shut down immediately by reckless fans, by fanatics that don't want to. They talk about Mason Mount like this with their eyes closed.
Bruv, that's what you're talking. You're talking like you ain't watched the player. You're fucking talking about yourself. You haven't even watched him. You probably do. When Mason Mount, it says the commentator goes, Mason Mount's on the ball, he probably puts his hands over his eyes. Fuck knows, or he's taking a shit on the bog. I don't know. He's doing something, but he ain't watching Mason Mount.
Be sensible. Be sensible. That's all I'm going to say. And we'll go from there. Okay. I admit that Mount is inconsistent, but he gets too much hate for no reason. No, I agree. 100% agree. The hate towards Mason Mount is unnecessary. It's uncalled for. It's unwarranted, not required. But being critical about Mason Mount is very important as well, because...
Yeah, but the thing is, your criticalness is actually masked with, for me, an underlying agenda of how you truly think what Mason Mount is as a player. And what you truly think Mason Mount as a player is clearly a James Milner or a fucking David Bentley or a Dele Alli. So I would borderline say that is absolutely, I wouldn't say it's hate, but I'd say, mate, you do not know about Mason Mount at all. You don't get him. And you're like the majority of the fan base, the majority of these content creators that don't actually get Mason Mount. And this is the sad thing, because what it does is, maybe it's no fault to their own, that they just don't understand it. They don't get what a player he is. They don't understand him. And then they spiel out all this bangers and mash waffle and say, oh, we're criticizing, when it's like, it's not, it's like borderline agenda, a narrative that pushes us, an agenda that feeds into the haters. And that's the clever part of the way these content creators do it, is that they feed into the narrative that the haters agree with, and therefore they get the clicks and they get the yes sir, please sir, free bags full sir, oh I like this guy, he thinks how I think, because the majority of people don't fucking get Minerals Mount. And that's the problem. This is why I love doing this stuff, because we dissect these people and their thought process, and we've gone from start to almost finish, and we can tell how Mizzy rates Mason Mount, and clearly not that very highly, clearly. So let's keep it moving.
There's a lot of people that don't hate, who aren't critical. They go and hype him up like he's a phenomenal sensation.
He's generational, Mizzy, mate. I don't know what you're seeing, geezer. He's generational, mate. He's a generational baller. There's no name another 23-year-old that's doing what he's done, achieved what he's done, got the GA that he's done, gone through all the issues that the whole team, the club's gone through. You don't name me one, geezer. He's the only player in the world to create 8 chances in an international for England in 45 minutes, because I wanted him to break Xavi's record, which was 9, but Xavi played a full 90 minutes. Xavi was generational, yeah, and he done it in 45 minutes. 8 chances, bruv. Was it? Yeah, 8 chances. And was it 7 or 8? But he got 1 below Xavi, yeah. The only player, the closest to any player in world football to get the closest in international with Xavi is phenomenal. The fact that he's the only English player, like I said, or only Chelsea player in history to score assist in a quarterfinal and or assist in a quarterfinal, semi-final, final Champions League. You got Messi's, Ronaldo's, generational, absolute goats, yeah. Not even Lamps has done that. Not even Drogba's done that. Or, you know, Ballack's and all these players that you say Mason Mount doesn't get over in that. But no one's done that, and he has. Kevin De Bruyne ain't done it. And Kevin De Bruyne are trying to say that he's going to be the greatest midfielder in the Premier League of all time. They're deluded, bruv. And he's nowhere near Frank Lampard. But this is the point. Like, there's no context here. There's no understanding of what he does because they don't understand the player. They don't research the player. They don't look into the player. They don't look into his actual technical ability, his actual work rate, his elite off the ball work, his through balls, key passes, set pieces. The fact that, let's talk about a clutch moment. We'll save that for later. Let's move on.
He's some sort of a, like, there are literally people in the Chelsea fan base, I kid you not, will tell you Mason Mount is an elite creator, and then they'll throw stats at your face. He's not. He's simply not an elite level creator. Let's be honest.
Fucking hell. This guy's drawing me, man. Can't, man. Oh, my word. This guy's got no context. It's like, all of a sudden, it's like we're playing a perfect article team. We're in a perfect article team. Put Mason Mount in Manchester City, put him in Liverpool, put him at Real Madrid, put him in any fucking team that's complete, and he balls out, and you'd be eating your fucking words right now. I guarantee that. I guarantee it. But the thing is, he's already delivered. Maybe he doesn't think Lampard's elite, bruv. I don't know. Maybe he thinks Lampard ain't elite. He's in the woods, guys. This guy is... He's in the woods. This guy's getting a royal mudding. Absolute royal mudding. I mean, I'm all for it. But let's see what he's got to say. Come on. See what he's got to say. This jarring, man.
Honest. There are people in the Chelsea fan base that will compare him to KDB. And that's where I feel...
He's got more Champions Leagues than KDB, I'll tell you that. You had him fucking crying at the Champions League final. We had Foden in his arms crying. Actually, shall I remind you? He's probably going to say Foden. Yeah, Foden's clearer. Foden's clear of Mason Mount. He's absolutely clear. Yeah, of course he is. No, mate, we don't. We don't have that here. We don't have that here. Guys, like and subscribe. Let's land it, bruv. Let's land it. All the haters, you know what time it is. Let's go. They get so shirty when they mention KDB, like they got some fucking alliance to KDB, you know, who wanted to leave our football club. And he's such a great player, such a generational player, KDB. Where was fucking KDB at 23 years old, 22 years old, 21 years old? Let me remind Mizzy here and all the wrong uns. Where the hell was KDB? Who was talking about KDB? No one. Stat pad in Bundesliga. Yeah, great. Mason Mount's winning Champions League, Club World Cup, Super Cups, mate. Let's have it fucking right. Breaking records, mate. Breaking records. Kevin De Bruyne ain't got these records at 23 years old. Let Minnels Mount develop, for fuck's sake. It's like he's got to carry this team. Where are all the experienced internationals, bruv? The high salary earners. Where's their Minnels at? Why are they not chipping in? Why don't they chip in? Maybe if they chipped in, we'd do a lot better. Do we ever talk about that? Obviously not, because it's all about Mason Mount, but let's fucking come at Mason Mount with a hacksaw, because that's what we're doing.
This is why you attract hate. I've seen few people talk about Johnny Minerals. He's the kind of people that attracts hate towards Mason Mount, because he's so outlandish. He's so outlandish with his takes about Mason Mount. You've got to be balanced, man.
Balance, bruv. Like I say, you're balancing eggs in wooden spoons, fella, and you're dropping them all over the gaff. You're smashing all over. There's egg on your face. There's egg on the floor. There's egg on your screen. There's egg everywhere, mate. When it comes to Minerals Mount and it comes to Johnny Minerals, people hate Mason Mount because of me. He's laughable, mate. I've got over 12.7K followers on Twitter only recently. Yeah, let's have it right. That's nothing, mate, in context to all these other platforms. I've got not even 5,000 subscribers on YouTube, yeah, on my channel, and it's because of me. Everyone hates Mason Mount. Come on, bruv, I'm not that influential, mate. Like seriously, or maybe I am to these guys. Isn't that laughable? Isn't that laughable, guys? Listen, let's have it right. We're the Minerals, bruv. We are the Minerals here. You're just going to hate on me now. It's got to be. It's basically a little chip at me because I stand up for what I believe and what I see, and because I back it all day long, and I've got every right to back it, and I know what I'm backing because he's an absolute generational baller, and he's delivered at my football club. Deserves his 300k a week. Deserves his contract. Absolutely does. But these lot don't put him on the same level as Reece James. He's absolutely embarrassing. It's laughable. All right. Because to me, they're both world class. They're both generational. This is the difference between me being a proper supporter, bruv, of my team and my players and understanding what players I've got in my team. But Minerals Mount gets the most hate out of any player in our entire squad. And he gets more than Jorginho. I can't, let's have it right. He gets way more than Jorginho. 80% of the fan base want Mason Mount out. It's sick. It's sickening. They don't value him. And it's laughable. I speak to United fans, Liverpool fans. I speak to fans all over. Yeah. Friends of mine, people that ain't friends of mine, just random people. I speak to them. It comes up. And I always question, what do you think of Minerals Mount? A lot of my fans, all the fan base can't stand him, a lot of them. They go, you're joking. That's ridiculous. He's been like your best player. Goes, he's a great player. He's unbelievable. What? He's only on 75 grand. That's disgraceful. That's other fans from other clubs talking about it because they understand football and they watch fucking football and they watch Mason Mount when they play each other and they see what a baller he is and how dangerous he is. And that's why all these other clubs want him. Whether the brown envelopes are true or not, at the end of the day, we're going to find out. Proof's in the pudding as time goes on. But at the end of the day, I don't doubt that big clubs are after him. But to bring up that I bring up all the hate on Mason Mount, it's just cliche. It's this whole cheese, man. Cheese and onion cliche. That's what it is. And it's just jarring. It's poor, Mizzy.
As I said, I think there is absolute good.
Save £100 on Google Pixel 6a. Now only $299.
Want to know how to rebuild your teeth and
mate.
gums? A recent breakthrough changes everything we know about periodontitis.
Good value for Mason Mount. But I think if you look back in our olden days, the caliber of players that we used to have, just think for a second. Just ask yourself, does Mason Mount start in those teams?
Fucking damn right he does.
He would potentially make the bench and he would be a great impact player.
Oh,
but he wouldn't start.
Yeah.
Simple as that. But then again, he's young, and I hope he develops. I hope he continues to develop. But in the last 12 to 16 months or so, I don't think it's been the
He's not been allowed to develop because he's been the most relied upon player in our squad. And he takes it because he's a Minerals general. But where is this energy? Where's this coming out of your mouth? It's just shocking.
The same for him. I really don't think he's developed. Ask some of the rival fans. I don't know how many of you guys watch Big Six. There are some really, really good opinions there. And I know sometimes it's a lot of bad.
Here we go. So when I talked to you about the cult committee of Matisse and Eunice and Miz, well, Mizzy here obviously knows that Eunice is now joining this Big Six, whatever. Matisse, the little ringleader, is on the Big Six. And now is he probably going to rim the Big Six now? He's going to rim them now.
There's that over there, which is great entertainment, but there's some really, really good points at times. Recently, I've heard Tobes really make some very good comments about Mason Mount. I've even heard a few other chaps over there that have made some really good comments about Mason Mount. But for example, like someone like Grizz and even James Redmond, who've said they'd take Mason Mount in Liverpool because his characteristic, as I mentioned earlier on, I think he's in terms of his skill set, it's like a James Milner kind of a skill set.
I can't, bruv. This is my ears and my eyes are bleeding, bruv. He's calling him what the haters call him. I can't do it anymore. This is jarring, guys. I don't know how much more I can go through this. Literally, I cannot. And he's listening to rival fans basically bantering him, calling him a James Milner. Oh, fuck this, man. This is too much, man. James
Milner plays for Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? And this is no disrespect. James Milner is a damn good player. James Milner is, have a look at his history in the Premier League. The man's
I listed it out to you. I listed it out. He's got, in his whole career, he's got 221 GA, 95 more than Mount, aged 36 now. So he's 13 years older than Mason Mount. Mason Mount has got easily 13 years. He'd go 35, 36. And he's already on, Mason Mount's on 126 GA. Over half of what he's done. And you're comparing him to James Milner, for fuck's sake. Milner's Mount's going to end up having 400 GA, bruv.
Got what, nearly over 600 Premier League games or something like that. The man is a beast. He's won everything everywhere. Man City, I'm pretty certain he's won stuff at Man City. Liverpool, obviously. Mason Mount reminds me of that caliber of a player. I think one of the problems with Mount is his progress has stagnated. Any player with ambitions of being the best need good competition to bring out the best in them. Lampard had it, JT had it. Exactly, absolutely.
Lovely. Bring up Lampard then. Let's not be a muppet. Let's bring up Lampard. And I have to keep repeating myself. This is what these guys do. They go round and round and round. They land this shit. They throw a bit more shit. They've dropped their eggs on their wooden spoons and they're throwing more shit. And he's got the same amount of goals as Lampard, same appearances. And Lampard is like the greatest Chelsea player, bro. I can't, man. This is hard, my geezers.
Absolutely agree, man. Absolutely hard. Sure, bro. Good to see you. Now, Johnny will clip you, Miz. Another content for him. Such a cheap way to generate content. Oh, so be it, man. Who cares? If that's what he wants to do, good on him, man. Good on him. Hey, if that's what helps you out and your channel, go for it, man. Go for it.
Listen, I'm doing it. I'm doing it right now. I'm mudding you all the way through, and I love it. And it's great stuff for me to land it and back my boy Minerals Mount. But the thing is, right, I don't do it to get bigger. This is what these Muppets think, that I'm doing it for clout and all that. And it's absolutely not that, because I don't mix with none of you lot. None of you lot. I don't mix with you lot. I don't go on the fucking wishy-washy football terrace. I don't mix with fuck all. Yeah. Troops come on my show on my own credit, bruv. You know what I mean? I don't need no one to hold my hand. I'm my own geezer. I do my own thing. I say what I want when I want, and I stay on my shit. And this is what rattles these guys, is they think that because I'm reacting them, I have to react to them, because all these guys have a platform and they have a voice within the fan base that set narratives and set tones in the fan base, and they feed into this shit. They feed into clickbait, and this is where I come in. I don't like it, and I can do whatever I want. And the thing is, I'm just growing myself on my own, and I love it. And all my minerals generals that are supporting the channel, they get it. They understand it. They get it. So let's move, guys. Let's move.
As long as you don't slander, as long as you don't insult, which I know Johnny does. Yeah, like,
oh, do I?
I'm happy for you to counter, but just stay away from the insults. No need to insult me as an individual. I think we all have the right to have our opinion. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, but
Reece James is playing in the same team, but looks world class every time he steps on the pitch. But Mount needs better players around him to shine. Lol, y'all hilarious. That in itself, Mish. That in itself is the difference, isn't it? Reece James himself lifts the team. That's why he's world class.
Hold on a minute. Lifts the team. But you don't credit Mount for everything I've just come out with. Is that not lifting the team, what I've mentioned to you all the way through the stream, which you better watch? And everyone in the chat, I want everyone to tell me that this Mason Mount, our Mason Minerals Mount, does not lift our team when he's played more games than any of than Reece James. That he's landed it. He's broken records. Has Reece James got the GA of Mason Mount? Has Reece James won player of the season back-to-back? Has Reece James captained Chelsea? Has Reece James scored and assisted in its quarterfinal, semi-final, final Champions League? Has Reece James won man of match in 45 minutes San Siro, and he played that game? I don't get it, bruv. They're both world class. This is the thing. So this is agenda and it's favoritism, and they talk about me and people hating Mount because of me, because of the way I back Mount. But I back Reece James all day long as well, because I back all my players, especially my Cobham boys. This is laughable, mate. This is laughable. What Mason and Mason Mount starts more games for England. Oh, he's fucking. Anyway, let's move on.
Mason Mount on his during this tumultuous time that Chelsea Football Club has been going through. Where was Mason Mount? Where was Mason Mount against Arsenal? Where was Mason Mount against Brighton? Where was Mason Mount against whoever else that we've played recently?
Yeah, where was Mason Mount against Wolves, Aston Villa, Salzburg, or was it Zagreb? Both. Where was he against AC Milan back to back? Yeah, where was he? Yeah, bagging assists, winning man of the matches. But what Reece James played under Tuchel when we lost that game away to Zagreb. Reece James played that game. So where, if you're going to go with that narrative, where was Mason Mount? Where was Reece James then in that game? If he lifts the team and elevates the team, like you can't just use it one argument for Mason Mount and then not apply it to Reece James. And I'm not going to do it at Reece James. Or if you talk about captaincy and leadership, why did Reece James let Hakim Ziyech take that free kick, that second free kick? He shouldn't have let him take it. He let him take it. So we have to understand that there's context here, mate. There's a lot of context here. But to define that as that's it, world class because he elevates everyone, I just think that's a bit one-sided. And you talk about biased and being outlandish and over the top. Well, I think you are, but you're not doing it enough with Mason Mount because you clearly don't rate him at all to that world-class elite level. And that is sad, mate. It's sad. It really is sad. You're entitled to your opinion, but your opinion is waffle, mate. Bangers, man. Waffle.
It was a ghost, much like all the other players. But Reece James, how many times Reece James has won matches for us by himself?
All right. Yeah.
Regardless of how the team played.
All right. Well, you tell me. Tell me. Name them. Is he going to name them?
That's the difference.
All right. Let me name you some. Let me name you some, Miz. We've got the Real Madrid semi-final. Yeah, to go to the final. That's single-handedly knocking them out. 2-0 final. Assisting the Champions League final. This is just a small, let's give you a sample size. The Porto winning that game. In fact, almost getting an assist for Giroud for bicycle kick and being in that position. Clutch moment. We scored that. Giroud scored the worldie. Let's talk about Fulham away, 1-0. Let's talk about Sheffield United. Lampard's goal. Won the game. Let's talk about the Wolves game this season. Aston Villa, San Siro. Just to mention a small sample size where Mason Mount has single-handedly won games. I don't think you can say as many for Reece James. I agree Reece James can do that, but is he doing it as consistent as Mason Mount? No, I don't think he is. And that's the difference. But why would he? He's a right back, right wing back. You know? Let's talk about single-handedly qualifying us under Lampard for Champions League qualification. Wolves game, must-win game. Had to win that game to qualify for Champions League. We had to get the 3 points, right? He scores a worldly free kick to go 1-0 up, and then he plays no places to Giroud to score 2-0, win the game. We qualify for Champions League. Single-handedly, bruv. That's what you call single-handedly. So I think you don't watch Mason Mount enough. You obviously watch Reece James a lot, and I do as well. And he's a fucking baller. So you need to go and study him, Mizzy. I think that's the best thing. I suggest you go and study him. Go and watch him at Vitesse. Go and watch him at Derby. Then watch him back and watch him closely. And just watch Minerals Mount. And maybe your whole observation and your opinion might change. Maybe I wish I had time. I would have done a reaction to him talking to what's it called? Tony Mount and see how he's there to how he's now. That'd be interesting. So anyway, we move on, mate. We're almost there, guys. Thank God for that.
This is the difference between the two players. And I'm not having a go. You can't
Really?
expect every player to be world class.
All right.
But we need to appreciate and accept the difference between the two players.
Nah.
Mount does need better players around him. Mount needs great players around him. So
Well, what did he have around him, bruv? We've Reece James was playing until he got injured in this shocking start to the season. So where the fuck has he elevated us? I don't understand it, bruv. But if you're talking about the last 3 seasons, Mason Mount's been absolutely instrumental. Like, instrumental. Carried us. I just don't get it. Oh, no, it's contradiction.
So his level rises as well. Reece, on the other side, he rises the levels of others because he is at an elite level.
Oh, you're jarring, geezer.
Adrian, Liz, thoughts on the Paul Winstonley news? Seems like he's a real big recruitment guy we've brought in since fantastic. It seems like we have a plan. It seems.
All right, thank God he's gone away from it there.
And I need getting hyped. Where do you see him, his development? Where do you see him in the future? Let's take some final few more comments and we'll wrap things up. Before we do that, 39 more likes to get to 1. Explosive. I do feel bad for Mason. His development has been affected by the fact he's played in attack out of position due to our very poor offensive player performances. He's a midfielder, not a 20 goal and assist left wing.
It's not just the attack though. It's also the midfield, which doesn't get spoken about enough, and it winds me the fuck up because people don't talk about the midfield enough.
Right wing. You're right. Yeah, he's a midfielder. I personally think he's a midfielder in a 3-man midfield and someone who's a little bit deeper. I rather him focus on his defensive side of game and his ball playing ability, and then really hone in on getting into the box late and banging in those goals with good shooting technique.
Yeah, and chance creation, mate. He does all of that, you see. He does all that, but you can't do that without a Declan Rice profile. And that's where the problem is, where Mason Mount is so fucking good and so elite that he's played out of position because he has to play, because no one's better than him, even in the position is not his. And he digs out. And when he plays in the front, left, front, right, he plays as a right, left, forward. He plays as an 8 and 10, all in one role within the game. And that is where people don't understand Mason Mount and the value. And that's why the gaffers, Tuchel, the elite gaffer he is, Frank Lampard, and now Potter, they play him, even Gareth Southgate, even if he's out of position, they know no matter what, he will do whatever they ask of him, but he also gives you that extra. And when he can, he will do it. But the fact that you don't recognize what he does is sad, man. He's sad, bruv. Fuck.
I'd rather him be industrious with the ball. Do you know what I mean? Very technical with the ball. One-touch passing.
But we don't play like that. So where are you going to get that? You can't do that. This is the point. The team's not built. But the only way you can build a team is you've got to build around Mason Mount. You've got to build around Reece James. You've got to build around Declan Rice. You've got to build around your striker and your central defender. It's called a fucking core backbone. We don't have that. We've got Reece James and Mason Mount at the moment. We don't have 2 goalkeepers that aren't really, are they going to be there? Thiago Silva's 38 going on 39. He's going to go. We haven't got that DM. We ain't got that general in the midfield who can free Mason Mount, who can free Reece James to an extent. You know, maybe we play back 4 and then Reece James plays the right back role instead of a wing back role. And it's a different dynamics. And then what that does is that 3-man midfield frees up your attack, but Mason Mount will cook, bruv. He will land the minerals. He will deliver. He will play assists. He will get set pieces. He'll score goals outside, inside the box. He'll make the runs. He'll get the pockets, and he'll do the work right off the ball. He's done it. He's a complete player like that. And he's still only going to get better. He's still not even nowhere near his prime. And this is what's scary, mate. People don't understand it, man. And listen, I'm all for it. I'm gonna mud them in years to come, as I've been mudding them anyway. Everyone's made their mind on Mason Mount. Consistent. At the bottom line is they don't like that they're getting proved wrong. and that's what I love about it. Emad's all the haters for fun. Let's have it right. Anyway, big up, guys. Like and subscribe, guys. Let's go.
Looking for key passes. Do you know what I mean? Controlling the tempo, whether it needs to be fast, slow, controlling the tempo in midfield. I'd rather him that type of a player.
Isn't that what Jorginho does, mate? He's meant to be our metronome. Now apparently, no, Mace doesn't play as 6, but we want him to be a metronome. No, you let him be a number 8, where he basically plays like a Scholesy, which he's been compared to like Scholes by Roy Keane, or he plays like a Frank Lampard, like Scholes compared Mason Mount to Frank Lampard, and you let him have that free roam, off the ball elite work and that technical ability, like he's been recommended as a fast, intelligent baller on and off the ball, like a Johan Cruyff. And these are the things where I don't hear none of this shit come out of his mouth, because he doesn't believe it, he doesn't recognize it, he cannot see it. And I get that, I understand that, but that's where I come in and I educate and land the minerals.
Off the ball, help out defensively. I think now lately he's more focused on, I want to go up there and I want to score, I want to assist. And I just don't think he's that player, man. I just don't think he's that player. As I said, James Milner. What's wrong with James Milner, man?
All the haters say James Milner, you fucking fraud, bruv. That's 4 times he's mentioned James Milner. Absolute embarrassment. I'd love you to tell his dad that. Get him on, mate. Get him on and tell him. I'd love that. I'd love to watch that. It'd be golden. Absolutely golden. Anyway, shocking. Is this the end of this rubbish?
There's nothing. Look how well James Milner's doing, Liverpool. Maybe not now. Now he's getting older, but look at James Milner in Man City. Look at James Milner early.
I think he's done this deliberately to get a reaction from me. That's what I think. They think I come to them. I think they do this to get a reaction out of me, and this is where the Minerals FC is landing it everywhere we go. Please be. I hope this is the end.
Early days in Liverpool. I know going further back to his Newcastle days, his Aston Villa days, he was probably a winger back then, had a lot more pace about him. But especially Man City and all he needs to stop these 70 contracts. It sounds like we could potentially make a lot of money out of him. Only 22 more likes left, ladies and consistent, yet the team itself isn't consistent. Constant changes and tactics. These players are human. Mason is humble. Look at his World Cup message. Yeah, look, as I said, man, like in terms of his character, I think in terms of a lot of our players, and
I'm sick of hearing about his character and his mentality and this and that, which he's all got and it's elite, but no one fucking credits his football ability. And this is where I get pissed off, is that you credit all these things and his work rate and his pressing, this and that, but the fact is that you don't credit him technically, you don't credit what he gives to the team, you don't credit his key passing, his fucking elite off the ball work, his intelligence, his quickness. He's so ahead of he's ahead of everyone in this team, bruv. Literally ahead. He's miles ahead. He's too good. And this is the problem. These lot are pulling him down. And I can't. I'm done with this guy. I don't want to listen to any more of this shit. I can't do it anymore. It's the end, bruv. I can't. Oh. That is draining. That is draining, guys. Guys, it's taken me 2 hours to go through that. 2 hours. Let me know in the comments, guys, what the deal is. Big up to every single one of you in here. Big up to every single one of you in here. I'm scarred, mate, from what I've heard. I'm scarred. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. I want you at the end, hit your notifications button as well. Got the Minerals FC membership. In the comments down below, at the end of the stream, listen, I want you to put your comments down there. I want you to put your comments in there. Do you know what I mean? And guys, if you want to get personal in here, mods will sort you out. but we don't tolerate that shit, yeah. And I'll blow you a kiss if that makes you feel better. Big up to everyone in here. Thanks for watching the channel. Like and subscribe, guys. It's very important. Helps me get to the 5K. And we just keep going up and up and up. Oh, there was one more thing I wanted to do, but do you know what? I'll save it for tomorrow. I'll do it for tomorrow. We're going to land it tomorrow as well. I feel really drained from listening to that garbage. I call it bangers and mash waffle. That's how I feel, geezer. Big up Nims, but that's how I feel. Absolutely shocking. I can't believe people actually listen to that and believe it and buy into it and agree with it. It's beyond me. It makes no sense. Listen, Emric, don't believe all the brown envelopes. Juve, PSG and Tottenham are all interested in making off of N'Golo Kante in January. We need to assess how N'Golo is after the surgery. Until we know that, we can't make that judgment yet. We can't make that judgment. But let's have it right. Liverpool and Juventus are keeping track of Mason Mount's future. Of course they are, and so is a lot more. But this is the thing. Brown envelopes are going to milk it now, guys. They're going to milk it. So we have to be very, very... And let's have it right. Sterling wearing a Stony with New Balance. Let's sack off New Balance, but let's get Stony to sponsor Chelsea instead of Nike and those shocking kits. We can actually get some real good gear, guys. That would be the dream. Anyway, big up to every single one of you guys. Please, guys, put your comments down below. As soon as I finish this live stream, put your comments down below. Smash the like button if you haven't smashed the like button. Subscribe, hit notifications, membership, all that jazz. Land Mills, big up to every single one of you in here. Appreciate you all watching. And like I say, always up the Chelsea, up the Minerals FC, up the Minerals Mount, a Johan Minerals Mount, yeah. Up the Reece James as well. Let's have it right. And we're going to say, stay safe, keep strong, keep winning. And like I say, you know what I mean? Just stay positive, guys. Stay positive. We back our club and our team and all that. And I'll be back tomorrow, guys. Big up to every single one of you. Up the Chelsea, up Minerals FC. Let's have it right. We move. Right, Pride of London. London is blue. Let's have it right. Up the Chelsea, up the Minerals FC. Let's go.
Johnny's got the fucking minerals, mate.